Hey, welcome back. For those that are new, however, if you would like to skip straight to the tarot, you can go down to the description box and click on the timestamp, and it will take you straight to that portion. For those that would like to stick around, there is an astrology recap that I'd like to go through, and then we'll do an oracle. Actually, we'll probably do a couple. There's a reason. I'll get there. So, today, morning read, Tuesday, May 5th, 2026. You'll see this whenever you see this. Right now, though, we have some very fast-moving, what feels like fast-moving energy with the planets and other celestial bodies that are loaded in Aries and Gemini and then Pluto and Aquarius. So you might feel like a supercharged battery or some sort of super processor. And then, of course, for the most of us, I think we're all feeling this kind of reset, transformative energy, like you're going through a rebirth of sort. Pluto is about to go retrograde in Aquarius in just a couple of days. Pluto being the planet of death and rebirth, with Aquarius focusing on technology, collective consciousness in the future. And then the retrograde itself is going to be, and so you may already be feeling this energy, of course, asking us to look at where we've given our agency over to technology, also our social circles, and kind of request or insist an emotional detox. Trying to see in this process if we as individuals then have been truly lost in the sauce of our daily lives, if you will. This retrograde is getting ready to be in effect as of tomorrow, May 6th. FYI. All the other planets, because of a stellium, Mercury and Mars and Aries, making us feel like action now, need to take action right now, talk later. But Saturn and Neptune, while also in Aries, are anchoring us a bit by taking our spiritual visions with Neptune and giving them more of a backbone with Saturn. And then Jupiter and Venus and Uranus are their own cellular stellium. And, well, I won't get into all that, but that's what I call it. It's the cellular, because it's the three planets, and it's kind of like the three active parts of a cell and how they all work together, but it's fine. So to me, it's like they're a cellular stellium, and almost experimental-like energy that's taking place with those three planets on top of this Aries stellium, or stellium in Aries, I don't know, however you want to say it. I'm not an astrologer, okay? But the experimental like energy that's happening with Jupiter, Venus, and Uranus is definitely, big, communicative, philosophical, rose glasses, even when it comes to intellectual conversation, and all together forms this kind of great awakener period. So think like the 1920s, late 1800s to maybe the 30s, 40s, like when psychology was kind of taking its hold, and there was the science, but the 20s is a good time for this. And philosophy was once again prominent in conversation. But anyway, so altogether, this is forming the Great Awakener period and like high speed data transfer, because that's the difference, because where we are today in the modern world with technology, and it's being lit then by the match that is Aries. And what does that mean? So it's lighting it all up. Everything that we're processing, everything that we're talking about, it's all just it's like rapid fire communication. This can be great, and this can also, there's a shadow side to everything, right? We will see need for long distance travel, I think. Travel period, I think a lot of people right now are feeling like gotta go. And then spiritual truth with that, and maybe the need for the travel is some sort of spiritual truth. This is considered a time like a golden window for joint work as well. It could be breakthroughs in your collaborative practice. So if you have a partner, business, romantic, whatever, family, it doesn't matter. If you have a partner, this could be the time that you're able to do something that you were never able to do before. In easily falling into the collaboration together. It may be that you need to work on a specific project or a specific goal, and this is the time that you see the what the other can give and what you can give, and what, kind of like this. It's a balance. It actually is a balance. And, we don't often think about retrogrades as helping to give that, but with these two stelliums that are taking place and with the Pluto retrograde, it actually does bring that opportunity of a balance. So full circle, Pluto going in retrograde will be the psychological auditor, hence the ability for a balance. It says pull all this energy that's out here, that's taking place, this intellectual match, and pull it inward, not a go silent, but pull it inward. And instead of shouting the truth, you become the truth. So instead of like screaming, this is my truth, this is, we just went through name your wounds, speak your truth, right? Now it's be that. You were either heard or you weren't. So now just be it. So pro tip with that, look at your shadow side of your ambitions, especially, and ensure that this, whatever this is for you, that it's not an ego trip and that it's actually serving your long-term evolution. Especially for those in partnership, this will impact on a psychological layer, obviously, and you'll be able to define creating together. Yeah, defining the creating together, what that means from a place of authentic power, right? Versus old wounds. And this will actually deepen the romantic side of that partnership because it goes beyond the superficiality and becomes about the shared transformation. And I mean that because in this period, if you've been in you've either ended partnership or you've entered partnership or you've strengthened a partnership, and especially those that have ended, two people have still gone through transformation because of that. Those that have entered, you have been seeing where you have been applying lessons and growing together. Those that have remained, you have the same of the latter. You have been going through transformation and healing and doing work and seeing how you're doing that transformation together. And so at this time with Pluto going into retrograde, it's like now it's almost like a stamp, like this is fated. This is it. This is final. So Pluto retrograde will have, it will have your work that you've been working on from your head, and it will move it into your soul in that sense. And again, it's all like with the match that's lighting the mind, this major psychological layer, philosophical psychological layer. It will now be inward, and the quest, if you will, is walk in that truth now. So whatever you know to be true, you've spoken it, you wanted to shout it, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. You've owned it, and now you have to be it. You have to be your truth. That's what this is about. Okay, so that's the astrology. Now, I'm going to do, these are actually tarot cards. This is like one of my very first decks, which I think, depending on where you are in your tarot journey, that speaks for a lot of people. There's a whole thing around it. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say her name anymore, so I'll just tell you the name of the deck is Fairy Tarot cards, but they have really good messages. And so I wanted to use these today. Oh, hello. As oracle to help guide the reading. And I've been shuffling. I started shuffling before I started recording, but I'm going to do that now. And then I've already got the other deck shuffled, so we won't have to spend too much time on that piece. So, Spirit, we just want to ask that you use these cards, my old but goodies, to help spread a message, but also to help guide the reading that we're about to do. Hello. We're going to take this one. I'd like to do one or two more, please. The messages are on the cards. One or two more. That was a 10 of spring. 10 of spring. Ego. It's amazing when that happens, right? Sitting here talking about making sure something's not ego, and then it's actually serving your long-term evolution, and then a card pops out and says ego. Don't you love that? One more, please, Spirit, to help guide the reading. Okay. 8 of spring. I saw it, so I gotta take it. Might be taking all 3. All right, we're gonna do it. Let's see what it says. So, we have 10 of spring, ask for help from others, all work and no play, being weighed down by too many responsibilities. So, you might be going through a delegation mode. And then there's ego. The illusion of being trapped and placing too much importance on material items, getting caught up in fear and worry. So ask for help. There needs to be some play right now, which if you're listening to other readers and other astrologers, that's a big theme. There needs to be more time for play right now. And quit telling yourself that you're trapped because of something tangible, material items, getting caught up in fear and worry. That's a story you're telling yourself. And remember, be careful the stories you tell yourself. Those are the ones you believe the most. So you have to start speaking a different narrative here. 8 of spring, stress that comes from having many things happening at once. I feel like this is for a very specific person. Successful multitasking, sudden events or changes. So if you do the delegation and you start changing your narrative, you'll see that it becomes a little lighter. It becomes a little lighter. Then you have the moon, powerful, intuitive epiphanies, letting go of worry and fear. So there's the turnaround, understanding the truth of a situation. Acceptance is key here for you. Delegation, changing the story, sudden changes can help. And then, you become a little bit more grounded in the acceptance, it sounds like. To the hermit, find or be a mentor, take a break from society, a commitment to your spiritual growth. This might be the time about the travel, right? Maybe it's even just like a weekend getaway. Maybe it's a few nights in a space that you wouldn't typically spend time. It doesn't have to be long distance travel to travel long distance. That might be the helpful situation here. And then you have the lovers. True love that is long lasting. Choices made from the heart and a return to good health. Oh, I didn't show you the hermit. Sorry. Kind of like a fairy godmother. So it sounds like I said, there's a turnaround here. And once you, with the delegation and the acceptance, letting go of the things, if you've been holding on to things because they feed the ego in a sense of like, well, I don't want to, I'm not going to take my name off this project at work. You know, like I've been working on this the whole time, even though passing it over may be something that allows you to do something you're even more passionate about. Right. Or, you know, why didn't I get credit for that? And meanwhile, you've gotten credit for building a whole team or something like that. Like, do you need to attach yourself to that? That's ego versus that doesn't matter because I'm able to do these other things. I'm able to lighten the load and actually get things done. I'm able to have some acceptance, and I've done some deep work, and, you know, like there's the things that are really important and they're not really these tangible things. I've gone in and now I can even share that with someone else. I can share that lesson. Maybe I am going to be a mentor. Maybe I am going to lead by example, which I think right now is exactly what Pluto going into retrograde is talking about. You know, that being the truth, leading by example. It's hard. Don't get me wrong. I make things sound like as if they're very easy, but you can do it. I mean, everybody can do it. So we're going to use we're going to say thank you, Spirit, actually, and we're going to use Phantom Wise Tarot. I do like this deck. I haven't used it, but maybe once, maybe. It's from the author of The Night Circus. Shout out to them. Erin Morgenstern. I can speak. Anyway, we're going to use this as our base reading. And Spirit, we're just going to ask that you continue to help us guide this reading. Everything's wanting to jump out. And there's a message for the person who needs this message and who's listening. Delegation, acceptance, letting go, changing the narrative. Delegation and changing the narrative. And this is how people go into this partnership. It looks from a pretty balanced place. A return to good health. Choices being made from the heart. Let's see what the tarot says. Thank you. Seven of Pentacles. There's definitely been it's a very hermit-like energy. Some consideration of the things that have taken place. The time, the tangible. What it is that has grown. The work that's already been done. Seven of Pentacles. Time. It could be time. Having spent time in that tree. Queen of Pentacles. This is definitely about earth energy, strong earth energy. Definitely about that tangible material. The Queen of Pentacles stands pretty comfortable in the things that she has and her abilities to make things happen. To me, this is, well, I think most readers agree this is like a Virgo card. A planner, someone who can accomplish the things she puts her mind to. She's never really worried about being broke. And this might be an energy that you already possess, or it might be an energy that you need to channel. Everything comes as it's needed. She's comfortable in that sense. I do, for some reason, I feel the Magician card. I don't know if we'll see it or not, but the Fool. There is a starting over point here, but it's a very explorative. What did I say? Experimental earlier? Yeah. Like, let's see what happens. Could be good, could be bad. Bit of a Alice in Wonderland, down the rabbit hole kind of vibe, right? It all ends up being good in the end. Yeah, it could be good, could be bad, but there's really no such thing as bad because it ends up. So you have the Fool and then the Page of Swords. And I feel a very strong, this is your journey if you accept it, kind of like if you choose to accept it. This is definitely strong feminine energy right now. There is something that you're being asked to trust. This Queen of Pentacles, like, you know, this timing card. And I'm feeling more and more about this timing. And this Queen of Pentacles into the Fool and the Page of Swords. You're being asked to trust and ask to trust but verify. So if somebody tells you something, you can choose to believe them, but you need to, within your own right, you know, just say, okay, can you just show me? Or can you... The Hanged Man, who has a magician-esque vibe. There he is, upright. But the Hanged Man. And the Three of Wands and the Three of Swords. Taking a beat for the healing is what this feels like. Taking a beat for the healing. And I think somebody is thinking that they have to get away in order to heal something. There's also this sense of, I'll show you, in the Three of Wands about the water. So if you are looking to travel, water might be calling you. Could be what's good for the soul here. But with the Hanged Man, you're being asked to look at it differently. And with that Three of Wands, I think that is part of the bringing it inward, that contemplation, that is this serving your long-term evolution, whatever this is. And that's really part of the healing work. Somebody here has been doing, and perhaps gotten to a place to where they could easily make things happen, but had to step back and go back in and do some healing work. Because you have, you know, this very mature kind of feminine energy, and then these two very younger feminine energies. And then here, what appears to be, you know, in that early to middle life age range. Temperance, yeah. The Perfect Alchemy, which I heard a reader, God, who was it? Said something about Uranus and Gemini is alchemy. And that this is the time of that perfect mix. And then you have the Five of Swords. It's like you have a choice here. That's what it feels like. You have a choice here. You can create conflict or continue conflict or be in conflict, or you can sit back and drink a cup of tea and balance that shit out. But I do think this is your higher self calling as well. And in this time of what may feel like a little bit of chaotic energy, but we're going to get, you know, there's a reprieve here. You just need to sit back and let time do its thing. Let time do its thing. There is a certain level of trust that's being asked here. Six of Pentacles. Yes, here's minor for justice. This is about balance. This is about give and take. The emotional reset, I think, is pretty strong here. The Ace of Wands and the Queen of Cups. Yeah, totally come out of that materialistic, you know you can accomplish the things and go into the heart. And there is a level of trust here. taken the time to have done some healing, to have done some introspection, to allow some of the pain. And now it's about finding that balance, removing yourself from the conflict. I mean, and really you can look at that Five of Swords that way, removing yourself from the conflict. You're picking up the swords and you're walking away, right? Leaving the others down. Balance again, Six of Pentacles. Then you have the Ace of Wands and the Queen of Cups. This is a brand new way of being, a brand new opportunity. A different way of taking action by leading from heart. This is definitely heart center. This boat, the Three of Wands and the Queen of Cups. The Eight of Cups. This is how you move on. Walking up the stairs, not down and away. What does that mean for you? Is that going after what you want or walking away from what no longer serves you? There's Two of Cups here on the first step, on the first landing, that frame the path. And then these six are down here. The four is in a group. I mean, that's significant in a way. Four of Cups is a lot of times not realizing what you have or not seeing the opportunity before you. The Two of Cups that are together, that is the new opportunity for a couple, which is minor for the lovers. And then you have the Two of Cups that are framing, which speak of a path taken, leading with heart, a path taken. That is quite a bit. We're going to try that again. Oh, okay. High Priestess. Yeah, definitely higher self. You need to start trusting. This might also be that faded energy that you're starting to feel, or that you will be feeling. Faded and final. Faded and final. You are the guide. Higher self. Page of Cups. It's like magic. it's like if you just sit back, Page of Cups, Two of Cups. Yeah. Page of Cups with the little bunny ears. I just want to, this is cute. And then Two of Cups with the little bunnies. How adorable. It's like magic. Trusting in that the work that you've been doing, this is a lot about self-love too. But you're leading with heart. You're leading with heart, and that's the important thing. And there, yeah, a new opportunity again. So Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Wands. I mean, this is something that's not only in the ether, but, you know, that you make real. You have the opportunity to make this long lasting, as the astrology is saying. I mean, I think the cards are supporting whatever. The Two of Wands. You just have to decide. Be the truth. This is not a loud energy. That is not that decision. You now just have to be the truth. Be your truth. Be your truth. Oh no. That's, oh yeah, I don't even want to show you that. Hold on. Because I need to think about this. Oh, it's how you feel. Okay. So this, the imagery here. There's a new opportunity. Be your truth. Sit in your truth. Or allow yourself to keep getting kicked around, pushed around. Five of Wands. I know it's horrible, right? We're going to clarify that. But I think that that's There's an opportunity here. You don't just have to sit there and take it. It is about letting go. It's about removing yourself from that conflict. It's about removing yourself from that situation. That's the decision. Whatever the conflict is, you know, they're not reaching the cat. That's the good. And there's the magician. Yeah, you have the power here. You have the power here. You've seen it, I think, actually. You've experienced this to where you can create whatever it is that you put your mind to. And so if you're not creating what it is you want, that's because you're not telling yourself that you can, or you're not believing the story. So again, be careful the stories that you tell yourself, for those are the ones that you will believe the most. You have this ability to change the narrative. I also heard a reader, I think it was Minnow Pond, so shout out to Minnow Pond, but said something about, okay, how did he say? I'm not going to say it like he did. I'm gonna mess it up. But essentially, if you are telling yourself something's not going to happen, then it's not going to happen. If you're telling yourself that something is going to happen, it's going to happen. So, right? Believe the stories you tell yourself, for those are the ones you believe. Careful the stories you tell yourself, because those are the ones you will believe the most. But also, in that, you have to, or you should, keep in mind that, hold one second. Okay, sorry if that did a weird pause. But anyway, so you have to then ask yourself, if I already had what I wanted, would I be doing this or would I be doing that? Whatever the this and that is, right? Like, so if my dream job, if I was working my dream job, if I was living my dream life, okay, would I make this decision or that decision? Because you're already living that life. And that's how you should be making your decisions now, as if you are already living that life, right? So you have to be the truth. You have to be your truth. If your truth is a certain life that looks a certain way, then you have to start being that now. That's how you get in alignment with what it is that you want. Okay, I think that's the best way to say it. Anything else from these cards before we detail it up and verify? The Ace of Swords, so yet another new, that's your truth. And the Knight of Pentacles. Be the truth. This is how you become stable. This is how you become dependable. This is how you become. Be your truth. Okay. And there's your Strength card. Yeah. You have everything that you need. Everything. You have the courage. I think you're using it. I think you're doing it. I mean, this reading to me says, whoever this is for, and again, it's a strong feminine. There's no kings or anything, right? Yeah. You're finding your courage and strength, your balance. You're being your truth. I often see the Strength card as a divine feminine and divine masculine. For this one, it has a little bit of a different feel, almost like a comforting. And I think that's it from this. Yes? Yep. All right. So now I just want the details. Please, Spirit, just give me the details for this feminine energy. Three of Cups. For this feminine energy. Support through your female, perhaps. Looks like Three of Cups, the High Priestess, Page of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. So it's trusting this kind of feminine. I am feeling a little bit of both, actually. So it could be specifically for someone who's dealing with the social group thing, right? Where you're having to reevaluate. Again, if you listen to the astrology part, this makes sense. But if you're having to reevaluate where you are in your, like what your place is in your life, what you've given agency over to when it comes to technology in your social circles, right? Meaning, where you've let yourself kind of be pushed down, and you're letting other things be the authority versus in your life versus you, right? I'm feeling that strongly with this Three of Cups and the High Priestess and this Page of Swords. This is a reevaluation period. You know who's good for you and who's not. You know who's toxic and who's not. I don't know why I'm seeing that with a celebration card, but and perhaps this is something that hit you strongly in the fall. It doesn't normally matter to me when I see this card, but there's pumpkins here. United States, anyway, in Southeast, like we get a lot of pumpkins. I don't know. Is that a thing everywhere? Probably. I'm being silly. But something that happened in the fall that may have made it very clear to you who your people are and who they're not. And then this Page of Swords is like, I'm gonna leave that. You know, I've done the research and I've looked, and then this is your move forward. Big energy. That's also Jupiter. Knight of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles. Yeah. It could really be about your friend groups. Perhaps you've got two bunnies again too, but with the Two of Cups and the Two of Cups. So this could be something about what it is that you're choosing to do. And there's the Strength card again and the Page of Cups. But I'm taking the Strength. This is your courage. All right, I'm going to show it. Page of Cups and Judgment. An offer. Something that brings you out of the dark and into the light. This is that reset. This is what I feel like is that reset. Like you're trusting yourself more. Oh, you're trusting yourself more. Perhaps you went through a phase. You knew you could do the things in one way, and then there was like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can go down this path. I don't know if I'm, a very Page-like energy, right? And having to figure out why it is that you're feeling that way, doing the work, going within this introspection, and then slowly but surely, you've been removing yourself, but you really, really are at a time now to where trusting yourself pays off. For you, it's an emotional payoff, I think. You have this Five of Swords again. It's really removing yourself from that situation. You see like a new life. And Nine of Cups. This is what brings you your fulfillment. Don't take the bait. Don't rise to the occasion. That's the advice. Yeah. That's the advice. And that's your new. Now you have the Ace of Cups. So what have we seen? Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords, right? Oh no, Ace of Pentacles. Do we have Ace of Swords? No, Ace of Pentacles. Now you have the Ace of Cups. Yeah, new beginning. Really about trusting yourself. And something to do with it could be children, it could be your friendships, it could be love. But I mean, for me, with the Two of Cups twice, or no, why did I say that? But you have the Two of Cups, you have the Lovers as your oracle, you have this new, it could just be a balance within yourself. That's fine. But this is really about trusting yourself in a connection. The work that's been done, trusting yourself and moving forward. There's the Magician and there's the Emperor. Okay, and there's your masculine. It's like you knew all along. Why did you doubt yourself? Why did you doubt yourself? What was it about this? The Magician again. What was it about this situation or this journey that you've been on that you doubted yourself? And now you got your King of Cups and a Five of Wands. Perhaps conflict. Perhaps you were carrying someone else's conflict. But this is an Emperor status. Conflicts of the heart, perhaps, because that is you do have your match here. You've got Queen of Cups and now the King of Cups. But yeah, I think you've had to cut some people out, or you're working on cutting some people out of your space. And there it is. That's why I said Two of Cups twice. About a connection. It's definitely about a connection. Perhaps there were people around you that didn't agree, or I don't feel, that's not what I feel this is about. I feel like this is strongly for a feminine energy who has gone through a phase of knowing that she can have and do whatever she needs and wants to do. If she wants to make it happen, she'll make it happen. And then she decided to take this new chance, this new opportunity. And in that, she became like this page again, this queen to this page. And it was like, wait a minute, I don't know what I'm doing. And am I in the right place? And there was something that has taken place that required that introspection, that deep, what does it all mean, healing kind of process that was activated. And then you were being asked by the higher self or, spirit, remove yourself from the conflict. And once you started to do that, easier said than done, so it's not something that just happens, you then came into this place of feeling a little bit more confident, of feeling a little bit more like, wait a minute, I do know who I am. I do know what I can do. And it's there that this Page of Cups and this Two of Cups and this courage and strength and, kind of calming the inner voice, the inner beast, if you will, that brings in these opportunities, all these aces. And this is moving very quick. But it's also like it's a strong movement. It's not just what am I trying to say? It's big, right? Like it's not just some little thing, but little things, all the little things are what lead to the big thing to move forward. Your next phase, your next cycle, it will not be without struggle. You have the Five of Swords again. It will not be without struggle. It can't be. That wouldn't be life. It's not, I've done X, Y, Z, and okay, everything's good now for the next 50 years. No. That would be fantastic, but that wouldn't be life. Life is about the ups and downs. And it's in these experiences that you have to learn to trust yourself. If you haven't been doing a good job of that, if you've been doubting yourself, and that really is kind of the period that we come into, the real transformation. If you've been doubting yourself, here's your sign. You've always known that if you wanted to make something happen, you can. So now you just have to start living that again. Living your truth. Be your truth. That's it. And be your truth in heart. This is absolutely about the love. There you go. We'll talk soon.